All right, YouTube, the Trump wiretap story is getting stranger. Of course, yesterday it was essentially just a claim, oh yeah, Obama wiretapped the Trump hotel during the election. Sad, and so forth. Now, the Democrats have had a chance to respond, and the response is odd. Because depending on which Democrat you actually ask, you've got several different variants of the truth here. When that happens, by the way, usually means something fucked up is going on. Howard Dean comes out on Twitter, link in the description, and says, oh, well, the FISA court that issued for the wiretap is involved with stopping terrorists, so they must have had probable cause. So here we have somebody, a higher-up, former head of the DNC, former presidential candidate, former governor of my state, and by the way, he's considered generally to be a chucklehead here, a zealot. He comes out and appears to confirm that a wiretap actually occurred. But meanwhile, at the same time, you have Obama's inner circle, of course, saying, oh, no, it never happened. But then you have a former Obama, what was it, staffer or cabinet member, I can't remember which, say, oh, well, people shouldn't be reporting that a wiretap didn't occur. All Obama's saying is that he didn't order such a wiretap. So now we've got a third variant where a wiretap did occur, but Obama had nothing to do with it. It was somebody else and reasons unknown. Nancy Pelosi, of course, and Schumer and some of these others come out and say, well, it's ridiculous. This is just a witch hunt and a deflection, essentially denying it outright. So who are we supposed to believe here? It appears, by all accounts, that the FISA court did get involved, that there was at least an attempt to wiretap Trump Hotel during the election. That would be many times more worrying than just, oh yeah, he's referring to the NSA conducting blanket surveillance on everyone. Of course, the NSA does. There is 100% certainty that they have on record the actual content of every phone call and email and so forth to and from the Trump Tower from that period of time. That is certain. It's not speculation, it is a certainty, because they collect all of that data for everybody. Whether or not it was actually gone through because a FISA warrant was issued, whether or not it was gone through by NSA agents or anyone else, remains to be seen. We're not sure. Howard Dean apparently thinks that it was. He thinks that the material was requested by these intelligence agencies to be able to go through it and analyze it for anti-terrorism purposes or something. The problem with that is this. I don't trust the NSA or anyone associated with them to limit such an investigation properly. Because what this could mean is that some guest at Trump Hotel, unbeknownst entirely to Trump or anybody else, had a friend of a friend of a friend who happened to buy cocaine from a Chechen rebel 20 years ago. And that would potentially be enough to trigger such a warrant to be issued. They have largely, people are forgetting, the FISA courts have rubber stamped almost all of the requests that they've gotten for years and years and years. It was something like a 93% success rate at getting the warrants issued. And of course, if at first you don't succeed, I suppose their answer is try again, just to make it look a little bit less like an automated system, a rubber stamping process, I suppose. So the threshold obviously can't really be that high for convincing the NSA. For convincing the FISA court, yeah, the NSA needs to be able to go through this person's material and that person's material. It can be a blanket warrant. It could be that they were literally covering a decade's worth of phone calls from Trump Tower because of some guest that stayed there in the 1990s. And you wouldn't know. But Howard Dean mouths off and says, oh, well, it had to be probable cause. Yes, but probable cause, according to the FISA court, is a much lower threshold than an honest-to-goodness, real, actual judicial court of law. See, in a FISA court, if people conduct espionage on you, if they say, oh, well, I'm going to look through the phone calls and the text messages and so forth, you can't really cross-examine. There's a years-long and almost futile process in getting that information scrubbed, and it's probably not scrubbed anyway. You've basically failed before you began. It's also not capable of issuing its own judicial rulings. The FISA court is not capable, because of the way in which it's been constructed. It's more like a tribunal. It's not capable of issuing judiciary decisions. It's not part of the judiciary branch of the U.S. government. It's not even entirely clear, in my opinion, whether they should be issuing warrants at all, honestly. But that's the process we use. But if the threshold is that low for determining probable cause, among this rubber stamping court, we can't really read into it. And then we've still got other people, higher ups. These aren't, some, minor political pundit. This is Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer saying that it never happened. And then we get someone associated with Obama himself saying, oh, don't be so quick to say that there was no wiretap. He's just saying that Obama didn't order it. And that's entirely possible. What if it wasn't Obama? What if it was the head of the NSA for his own ill-gotten purpose? What if it was John McCain? That'd be really funny. What if it was Mitch McConnell or somebody like that? It's entirely possible that that's the case. And assuming that it has something to do with Russia, I think, is also a huge stretch. You don't know that. You know that, supposedly, the FISA court was requested to allow this information to be gone through from Trump Tower through the election period. A request was made. We don't know if it was followed up. It probably was, because, again, they rubber stamp things. So we can assume that's very, very likely. We don't know who actually wanted them to do this. Obama's former sort of inner circle member says it wasn't him, but that, yeah, there was wiretapping going on, so he must know something that the rest of us don't know. Who exactly was it who tried to get this issued? It could have been somebody in Congress. It could have been the head of some intelligence agency. It could have been somebody else. Was it, did Hillary Clinton ask this to be done? Was it actually Obama? Was it Obama or someone else through a proxy because they wanted to cover their ass? Was it James Clapper? Who exactly decided to conduct domestic surveillance on Trump Tower on what is probably a trumped-up warrant to begin with, because most of them are? We don't see any real results from the NSA's mass surveillance program. They haven't stopped any credible attacks. They just don't. Even the FBI, which is more effective, that actually attempts to stop attacks. Sometimes even the stoppage of terrorism that they themselves proclaim to be of import is the result of them literally going up to some disaffected individual saying, oh, here, want to buy a bomb? Here, go, yeah, we'll help you attack this government building or something like that. It's literally a form of entrapment. And so I'm not exactly sure why this system continues to be employed. What I have a feeling is happening is that dishonest individuals want to use it for political reasons. People like Obama, people like Clinton, people like James Clapper. The Bureau, once formed, then seeks to continue in its existence, to continue having this power and also justifying its own paycheck, which means that they have to trump up, pardon the pun, all of these supposed terrorist attacks they stop, and how wonderful their program is, and how law-abiding they are, and they would certainly never allow individual agents to check up on their significant others using a classification scheme, but they did, of course. It was called Love Int. And that was a big story until it got hushed up. I remember it. Plenty of you probably remember it because you're presumably politically active for the most part. A lot of people, and they're watching like CNN, they never heard about it again. They probably didn't even hear it reported on from the get-go. They have no idea that that even was a thing. And it's still probably a thing. It's not like they faced any significant call to stop it. Some mid-level agent with an axe to grind against Trump. Oh, 10 years ago, yeah, I was the lawyer for this contracting firm, and Trump didn't treat them very well. And he's running for the presidency. Oh, it's payback time now, Donald. That could have happened. That's the problem with their whole domestic surveillance system. That's the reason it should be repealed. It should be done away with. But it's getting more and more confused. It's not even clear who's going for who here. Is this Obama and his allies going for Trump's jugular by trying to spew out leaks and false information? Or is Trump about to absolutely fucking pound the Obama allies with a lawsuit? No, we don't know that either. I guess we have to sit back and enjoy the show. It is enjoyable to watch. It's a little bit of political theater. It's pretty chaotic, honestly. But who exactly here has the upper hand? It's not entirely clear. I would guess probably Trump. Judging from the confused response that I'm seeing from these different entities on the left. Again, when their stories don't match up, all of these people are fairly close to Obama. Pelosi, she's close with him. Howard Dean, he's close to the top of the Democratic movement and so forth. Then you have, of course, the member of Obama's inner circle while he was actually president of the United States. And these people are giving us totally different explanations of what's happening. It's either ridiculous and never happened, or an attempt to get the FISA ruling was issued, whether or not it was followed through with, or there was probable cause, Dean apparently knows this to be the case, there was a wiretap regardless of who ordered it, or maybe it was Obama himself who did order it. And if the last is true, if Obama ordered somebody who was running for the presidency, in his official capacity as the president, to be investigated, to have his business, his entity that he was conducting a lot of his political stuff from wiretapped, that would be an extreme problem. It would be Watergate 2.0. It'd be arguably a little bit worse because other people would get swept up in that they have nothing to do with politics. Oh, I'm on vacation. I'm going to the Trump Tower. Oh, shit, I got spied on while I was there. Well, yeah, you probably did anyway, but whether that material was gone through as part of a political witch hunt, I guess remains to be seen. We don't even know who ordered this, if it even happened. I'm going to guess that it probably did. When Howard Dean comes out and indicates that to be the case, when you have people connected directly with Obama saying, yeah, it happened, but it wasn't Obama that ordered it. Well, at the very least, that gives me cause to believe that the wiretapping itself was real, regardless, again, of who actually was involved in commanding it to take place. It doesn't almost even matter. Whoever did is probably in big shit, and of course Trump has the security clearance necessary and the allies necessary to probably figure out who the fuck done it. And when he does, yeah, he'll probably drop the hammer on some people. I doubt it will stretch to Obama. We do need to keep a level head. Looking at this story, I say it's fishy enough to understand something fucked up went on here. But does that mean that Obama gets thrown in a jail cell? No, probably not. It's just like with the Hillary Clinton stuff. One look at the case, you knew that fishy shit went on. There was quid pro quo. Hillary Clinton knew she was breaking the law. She had a private... She broke the law. But that didn't mean there was a high chance she was going to be put in a jail cell. And we have to remember this. Obama's the former president of the United States. Even if he did get investigated directly, Trump would probably be pressured, even by members of his own party, to grant a pardon and say, okay, we've made an example of him for a few days. Now I'm going to pardon him. He can retire in disgrace. It would disarm him from any further action because he'd constantly have that sort of pall hanging over him. But yeah, even Trump himself at that point would probably pardon him and say, okay, well, no harm done. I still won. So, fuck yourself. Go back to Hawaii, essentially. That's about all. Peace out.